1 year ago, the COVID-19 pandemic changed everything about our lives. Stay-at-home orders were issued, leading us to work from home, celebrate at home, and learn from home. On-site worship services were canceled. Mandates to flatten the curve and stop the spread became commonplace. Through it all, healthcare professionals have risked their lives to keep our community healthy and provide us with hope. We asked 4 healthcare professionals to reflect on the challenges of the past 12 months and to share how they have seen God at work.
What has been the most challenging about the past year? It's been a tough year. I think the constantly changing environment has been very challenging.
The depth of emotion, the separation that I have experienced both as a healthcare provider and experienced through patients and their family members.
Being in a higher risk age category, I had some concerns about COVID exposure for myself.
It became more of a political conversation than it was a healthcare conversation. Their livelihood was affected. Lots of people lost their jobs. Patients that I was taking care of were furloughed, laid off, or lost employment completely.
There was a lot of fear involved. Fear about the virus itself, fear about getting sick. I had fear that I would contract it and then bring it home to my wife and kids.
There seemed to be a real darkness that developed in conversation with people.
There have been times at the hospital in the ICU where I have literally gone from one bedside to another bedside, holding hands while people have passed away.
I experienced God's hope in actually meeting the other staff and volunteers and even the patients who come to Volunteers in Medicine.
I think thinking about God's hope, it's helped me to learn to love deeper, to learn to love God more, to learn to love my family more, to appreciate the connections that I have with people.
I have continued to see God move, even in the midst of the deepest sadness. God has been everywhere with us through this, and that has been an immense comfort.
I've seen an outpouring of love from the patients that I've taken care of, as well as folks that I go to church with who acknowledge that I work in healthcare and give me a pat on the back, saying thank you. Gotten a couple jars of peach preserves and strawberry preserves. That is so sweet.
I've had the assurance that I made the right decision.
Honestly, the fact that we have people who have been praying for us and supporting us has been immensely soothing.
2021 has brought about a nice calming of the tone and a conversation between people. I pray and I ask you to pray for healthcare workers to embrace that and continue to portray that to everyone that we work with.
Knowing that Christians in this church and Christians around the world have been praying for frontline workers this last year is just invaluable.
I think it's wonderful. I feel blessed to be involved with such a community that is willing to provide time and energy and thoughts and prayers for us.
And I can't even tell you how often I have felt the prayers that we have received, and the fact that I myself have been reached out to by people from church and other people just saying that they are praying for me and for others who are in the healthcare field, because they know that what we are going through is hard. And it has been.
The prayers that are needed, for myself and everyone else in healthcare, maybe is to remind us, spiritually, to be as empathetic as possible.
For this upcoming year, we continue to cherish your prayers, especially for the frontline workers who are there every day, week after week, month after month, facing risk for themselves and their families.
You never know when that hug or that note or that phone call can mean something immense to the person on the other end of the line. God remains at work, and there is always hope.
God is at work. There's hope.
God is at work. There is hope.
God is at work. There is hope.